Hello everybody, this is Gregory with Permanent Weight Loss Made Easy, where there should be no hesitancy in your weight loss and in your weight maintenance. Today we're going to talk about the breakfast conundrum and what to do about it. Now before we begin, if you need help with weight loss, contact me through the Clarity FM link found here in the episode notes. Also check out my 2 books, which you can find on Amazon, my website, which has hundreds of articles and recipes, my podcast, The Awakened Man, which deals with weight loss, and lastly, if you appreciate my content, there's a link for PayPal. So I'm over here at Lily Lake, which is outside of Rocky Mountain National Park. I'm not far from Estes Park, Colorado, if you guys are familiar with this area. I want to talk about the breakfast conundrum. And what do I mean by the breakfast conundrum? I think there's a lot of different ways you can look at this. We just did a video yesterday over at the Continental Divide talking about how animals fast, how they store up their fat reserves during the summertime so they can eat them essentially, and during winter either for hibernation or when they're hiding from the cold. And one of the things that people will say about why they don't want to fast is because they miss breakfast. And of course there's different ways to compress your eating window. You can do, which I think is more the standard of skipping breakfast and then eating lunch and dinner. Some people flip it, and because they like breakfast food so much, they do breakfast and lunch, and then they stop eating, let's say, after 2 o'clock. I like to do the other one. I haven't had breakfast in 9 years, and I'm not going to change that anytime soon. But what I mean by the breakfast conundrum is there are people who love breakfast. They love eggs, they love bacon, they love toast, they like waffles, whatever it is. And they're like, I don't want to give up breakfast. And if I fast, I have to give up breakfast. Absolutely not. There is a term called Brinner, breakfast for dinner. And I implement this all the time. I eat eggs probably 3 times a week for dinner because I love eggs, and I eat them in a weird way. I sometimes put ketchup on them. Sometimes I'll put sour cream on them. Sometimes I'll put mustard on them. I eat them in strange ways. Sometimes I eat them with blue corn chips. But I like breakfast, in particular eggs and bacon. And then sometimes I'll make some waffles for dinner. I'll have some recipes at the website that make your waffles and pancakes from scratch, but much more nutrient dense. But I'll eat those, and I'll put a little syrup, sure. So you don't have to, if you're gonna fast, give up breakfast forever. You can just switch breakfast to dinner or switch breakfast to lunch when you break your fast. There's no Levitical or Mosaic law that came down from the mountain saying that you have to eat breakfast foods at breakfast and you have to eat dinner foods for dinner. There's people that eat steak for breakfast. The other thing about the breakfast conundrum that I want to talk about is, let's say you are fasting, and I'm traveling right now, so I was at a place that had a continental breakfast, and you walk, I go through there to get tea. I'm a big tea person, so I get the complimentary tea bags and then store them up for later time. But you see the waffles, you see the croissants, you see the donuts, you might see the eggs, and of course it's in the morning, and this might solicit a response. You're like, man, this food looks good, I want to eat it. And I would tell you, look, of course, if you're not fasting, which I think all people should, and I think it's a humongous biohack that you guys are missing out if you're not doing it. If you are eating breakfast, okay, then I wouldn't say indulge, but if you're traveling, you can indulge a little more. Especially like here, like yesterday, I hiked for 10 miles. So if I know I'm going to walk a lot, and hiking burns a lot more calories than running, then of course you can splurge on a trip. Why not? You can have your waffles with chocolate chips on it if that's what you want to do. The other thing is what I do, because I do fast, is I look at all this breakfast food, like when I'm traveling, and I just take them to eat later. So when they have the complimentary bananas or the complimentary apples or the complimentary cookies or the complimentary whatever it is, I'm like, well, I'm not going to eat this now, but it's essentially complimentary, even though they put it on your hotel bill essentially by raising the hotel bill. Nothing is really free. Then I just eat it later. So again, that's the other way to get around the breakfast conundrum, because a lot of you guys are, oh man, this breakfast food and I can't eat it. Well, you can eat it later. Just take everything later. And I would tell you in general, if you still are somebody who likes to eat breakfast because you get the hangries or whatever it is, just remember that breakfast today in America is largely dinner. It's like dessert in the morning, because the large majority of breakfast foods are garbage. Muffins, donuts, English muffins, pastries. Think of all the stuff at IHOP you can get: chocolate chip pancakes, chocolate chip waffles, strawberry whipped cream, all that. It's just tons of carbs, low nutrition, tons of calories. So if you're going to eat breakfast, guys, pick the nutrient-dense stuff, the stuff that's going to fill you up. So eggs, slices of avocado toast, eat bacon, yogurt bowls with full fat, and put healthy fruits. These are the things that you should be opted for if you're going to do that. Guys, post in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. Do you eat breakfast for dinner like I do? Do you fast? Until next time, take care. God bless and pray.